John and I are on our own this weekend, and it shows because Podcast Daddy is not around to keep us under control. We go wild. Watch the episode to find out exactly how crazy we go. All right, have fun. Bye. For recording.
Wow. Amazing. Thank you. That was
I
so
know.
good.
I'm such a professional. I've been waiting for this second. So everybody who's watching, I'm just trying to resize my window. Yeah, no, very professional set of people that you have in front of you right now. My name's Peter, and this is Mike. And wait, hang on. No, Mike's not here. Yeah,
Mike's not here.
um,
We're missing a critical component who usually keeps us together, our glue,
he's
so
a,
to speak.
he's not so critical component. I think
Our
it's probably
very non-critical component that really does just hold this show together. Once Mike is unavailable or gone,
we
me and
can't even remember Peter,
his
name.
it's just just brain
Yeah.
stuff coming out of our ears. Mike is not here, and that leaves
So
us
anyway,
to
we're going to
play.
be talking about yeah, that's us, which is obviously a terrible mistake. He should never go on holiday and never
Ever.
have any time off.
It's crazy
So
how
we're talking
much
about
we rely on him. But let's talk about NSA.
John.
Yeah.
John.
Yes. Yeah.
John.
All right,
Oh God,
okay,
yeah,
okay,
please.
okay.
Let's talk about something
Yeah.
other than the fact that Mike's not here. I genuinely thought you were called Mike for a...
Wake up, Peter. Wake up.
Right. NSA finally admits to spying on Americans by purchasing sensitive data.
Yes.
This is one of those stories that is like, well, duh. I mean, fucking come on.
Those were the comments that I saw were like, no shit. And I think someone said that on our Discord too. They're like, no shit, I think was the quote. But it's important to point out because one, I predicted this.
You did.
Maybe
yes.
if I feel really
Pizza.
generous, I'll go dig up the article and the show episode from when we talked about this, where we spoke about the article talked about, it wasn't an article so much as a blog post by some guy, and it was about like corporate, I think he used the word enterprise data collection versus government data collection, right? So private versus public. And I guess both are private, but yes. So like public sector versus private sector. And one of the things that we all agreed on was like nothing, there are zero safeguards in place to protect North American intelligence agency, North American citizens and the world from North American or American intelligence agencies, right? Like they are just doing this, and it was so obvious that they're doing this. Why wouldn't they? It's right there. It's basically free data for them.
Yeah. It's this weird situation where the government have certain safeguards about what they can do and what they can't do about like collecting data on citizens. Right. And I personally went to I think it was Verkara, the data aggregation company, and I asked them, "Hey, listen, I'm doing this project where I want to fine tune my data set about people who are based in a certain area in a certain time frame." And they were like, yeah, we can give you more data to cover that. We can tell you exactly who it was that was in that area at that time, it like to the square meter. And then when I ignored them, they pushed and pushed and pushed to send that stuff to me. They've got this data, they want to sell it, and as a private citizen, I can buy it.
Wow.
Yeah, and
that's
the
crazy.
government.
You never told me about that, I don't think.
No, I didn't. Okay, so the story is basically there was a big Verkara leak. I think it's Verkara. I don't know. I got some spam from one of these data brokers, and I thought, I wonder like exactly what they can sell me. So I sent them a message from I was a principal security researcher at the time at this company, and I was like, oh yeah, I've got a data set of DNS data, and I want to kind of sort of target the people in this data set more precisely, and I want to I was wondering if you have data that can help me do that.
Wow.
So yeah, the guy who runs the company replied to me and said, I think these vendors can help you. They have data sets which are might be useful. And I was like, okay, at the beginning I was just sort of curious. So I spoke to like three of them, and they said, yeah, I think we have this, we have this, we have this. And then I just sort of left it, and they kept on pushing and pushing and pushing. Like the CTO or whoever it was, the owner of the company, kept on saying, "Hey, Pete, are you still available? Are you still running the project? Like, do you still want this data? I think we can do a discount for you if you're really interested. Like, it's probably less than 10 grand, for the time frame that you're looking for." It's bonkers,
Yeah,
and you know, it's such precise data. It's
that's
like
so invasive.
yeah, crazy.
Oh, so like right. So if a normal citizen, just an average Joe, can reach out and be like, "Hey, I want this data on a bunch of people," and you have the IDs, right? Like, I think you still need a little bit of data, but that can also be purchased. So like, you can very quickly like geolocate people based on their data and then identify them based on their data. So the fact that like the NSA finally admits, like, so this guy who's I believe the senator of Oregon, Ron Wyden, he pushed the NSA and the FBI actually previously to like admit that they were buying Americans' data. Um and there's no safeguard in place. And I always shit on the EU, and I'm going to shit on the EU today as well. But first, I'll say that at least the European
Later.
Union is trying. They can't do much about individual countries' control, which is why every time I say fuck the EU, Peter's like, no, it's not the EU, it's individual country. But like,
Thank you. Thank you.
but there's no safeguards in place for those individual countries. I mean, some put some laws in place, but generally speaking, Western countries don't actually care, and
Oh,
they'll just
God,
buy this
John, you're
data.
making it so difficult to like. I look. It's just me and you here right now, and I want to be agreeable to you. I genuinely do. I want this to be like a kind of like, yeah, hey, it's John and Pete. It's the John and Pete show. We're all kind of getting on, but like, fuck off. Honestly, like that. Like, it's not. It's not the way you describe it at all. Like, the EU has a collective responsibility. Okay, I'm doing it, aren't I? But like, the EU has a collective responsibility to, and there may be individual laws, but like, if the EU says you can't do this shit, that applies to everybody.
Yeah, but they're
All
like,
right.
okay,
Okay.
anyway, we're gonna keep doing it,
Yeah,
right?
but
Like,
like,
if you look
no.
at any of the Western sided European countries,
Ah, fuck.
they spy on every citizen. They don't give a shit. Like
Okay. Okay.
Sweden,
Okay. Okay.
Denmark. I mean, maybe Norway's okay, but like France, right? Germany, the UK, but who doesn't really fall under EU anymore.
Everybody, okay, governments spy on their citizens.
Terrible.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's like, that happens. And it
Yeah.
sucks because, as a citizen, you don't want the idea about somebody kind of looking into your private
Snooping.
fucking
Yeah.
messages. But
Yeah.
like, there is a reason for that. There is something that they're trying to achieve, which is to prevent, you know, cr-
They're trying to
big
prevent.
crimes,
I mean,
nasty crimes,
but they always use those two crimes to be like, oh, well, it was justified because
terrorism,
of
child.
terrorism and
Yeah.
child protection. Like, and it's
Yeah.
always the same bullshit. And now I'm not saying
But
that
this
those
not
crimes aren't like
bullshit, though.
legitimate. I'm not saying that those crimes aren't legitimate reasons to
You
do
are.
something. No, no. What I'm saying is that if the data
You're
says
saying
like, wait, wait, wait,
that
wait,
you
wait,
are a terrorist and a child
definitely
pornographer. That's
not.
exactly
Jesus
what you're
Christ.
saying.
What I'm saying is, what I'm trying to say is that
Trying to say.
if we look at the United States, was it the Patriot Act and the resulting couple of
Yeah.
decades of data collection? Yeah.
Okay.
They
Yeah.
didn't stop any terrorist attacks. It did not help them. So this
How do you know?
excuse,
How do you know that?
what do you mean? Okay, well, with the data we've been given, and also like according to Ed Snowden, this is
Who,
the case.
Ed Soda, who last spoke in public in like 2014 or something. I,
Uh,
I look. I see where you come from, and I'm your people, man. I am
yeah,
with your crowd. I am part of the like fuck the government side of things.
sure.
But I have to admit that at some point that there is something they have to do to try and prevent terrorism and child abuse online.
Yeah.
And the only ways they can do that are through the ways that they're doing it.
Yeah,
And
I
I know
guess.
it sucks.
It's
Like,
pretty
how would you
terrible.
do it?
No
If
solution.
you're
That's the
boss of
problem.
anti-terrorism, what would
That's
you
the
do?
best
Like,
part. I'm not. So like I don't have to come up with like
yeah,
morally
you get to shit on
correct
people.
ways. I just get to be on the sideline and
Yeah.
be like, not me, but also
Yeah.
do a better job,
Also,
like
fuck them.
yeah.
I
Anyway,
know.
so we'll wrap it up here.
Yeah.
That was a great discussion. We got nowhere, but we did talk
No.
about some cool things. So
If you want to subscribe, please do. By the way, the link is just down there,
yeah,
and we have a great Discord channel. But if you want to subscribe, then all through this week you will hear similarly pointless discussions between me and John, where we will not achieve anything at all. So yeah, good luck.